Hello, let's talk about Workspaces. What is a workspace? It is the area around your document that kind of helps you build it. Okay, it's the space that you do your work in. The weird thing about Canva, and it took me a little while to realize and kind of helped me when I did figure it out, that's why I'm sharing it with you, is that when you start with Instagram posts, it looks like this. But if I switch to a document, it looks different. When there's H1 and H2, I can't find that in Canva. How do I turn it on? You can't. I made this other whiteboard document here. What are all the dots? This one here has video editing. Canva is a huge, big tool that can do lots of different things, and the workspaces change. Let me show you a few of the different workspaces just so you get a sense and don't get lost like I did when I got started. All right, we're all quite used to now the social post view. Everything looks like this. Let's open up a few different other ones. So let's go back to the home screen, let's create a new design, and basically they're grouped over here. You can kind of see these icons, docs, whiteboards, presentations, etc. These all have their own workspaces. Some of them similar, some of them quite different. Let's look at, say, docs. We'll create a doc in this course. Okay. Now a doc is basically just a Word document and has a very different view. Can you see this one versus this one? Lots of the elements are the same. Templates, brands, they're all still there. But if I close these both down, what you'll notice is there's this menu along the top here. It gives you kind of more like a Word doc style kind of tools. Same over here. It's all very Word docy. Close it down, you scroll, it breaks it into pages. Let's have a look at another one. Let's look at something that's quite different. Create a new design. We'll do whiteboards as well. Let's grab this one. Whiteboards are quite different. Look at that. So different. Okay, I'm going to close this down. It has all these dots, and guess what? It has like an infinity kind of background. You can create things forever on this document. And no menu along the top telling you what kind of words to use, and styles and stuff like the Word doc. Let's do one more. Let's do a video one, because that has a very different look as well. Let's go down to videos. Let's grab video. And what you'll notice is you end up with different stuff. You've got like a little timeline down here instead of pages. And if I add a video, let me find a video. This one. You end up with different tools. You got like editing tool. Okay, so the reason I show you this is that when I first started kind of using Canva, I'd be like, why is their version so different from mine? Why don't I have that button? Why do I have this extra button? It was because there are lots of different formats here in Canva. I want to give you a sense of this early on. I didn't want to be the first boring video, but I feel like it's interesting to know, important to know there's actually different ways. Like the interesting thing is that if I'm in this Word doc style here, okay, they call it a doc inside of Canva. I can't get all that video editing stuff, okay? It's a different format, okay? So what ends up happening is if you end up in the wrong thing, you start designing in this whiteboard mode that goes on forever and you want some of the video stuff, you have to select copy into a different document. You can't like change your workspace. You can't say, all right, enable video features. Doesn't work like that. All right, so that was kind of a revelation for me when I was getting started with Canva. Their actual workspaces are quite different. Sometimes you can copy stuff between the two, and sometimes you can't. Like this stuff here that we've created, if I try and grab all of that as a group and I copy it, for some reason the doc won't allow me to paste that. I can bring in the image separately, the text separately. Some things copy, some things don't, but the workspace changes quite a bit. The other part of the workspace that changes is this side here. Can you see I'm in, this is the one we started at. Okay, so I've got design, elements, text, brand, uploads, draw, projects, and apps. These things are only here because I've used them in the past. You won't have any of these. Basically, we'll look at apps later on. When I add an app, okay, we'll go and find one that I want to use. It just puts it over there for easy access and you can't remove them. I tried to clear them out before I started the course, so we didn't freak anybody out, but didn't work. So there you go. See this line here? That line is like stuff that's normally part of this. You'll have that. Anything that's below this is unique stuff that you've used. And we'll explore it later on. But let's look, see that line there? Anything above that, if I go to my doc version, can you see there's that line there? It got rid of, you can't do drawing inside of the doc. So all these tiles on this left-hand side are unique for the workspace as well. Can you see? I'm in this one. Look, what else was new? I think this one is very similar. The video one, very similar again. You'll find different tiles, different workspaces for the different kinds of projects you'll be creating. One last thing, get on with it, Dan, is if I go back to home and I create a new design, down the bottom here it says more. You just get a sense of the scale of things that you can create in Canva. So let's go to, I don't know, personal event planning. Just look at how many kind of things they've thought of. Do you need a t-shirt? You can do it inside Canva, design it, and then print it from Canva. It's amazing. Do you need to create a name tag, swing tag for somebody? They've got a workspace and all the tools that you need to make that happen and a bunch of templates. It's very cool. Anyway, I wanted to share that because the different workspaces freaked me out a little bit at the beginning until I realized, they're all kind of different. See these little icons here? They all do something quite different. So they move Canva around and make it do different stuff. And you can't change it. You can't just say, all right, I'm in presentation mode, switch it to video mode. You can copy and paste from it, kind of, but you can't actually just switch up the workspace to be, give me all those tools. All right, they get it, Dan. All right, that is it. I will leave you with that. I hope that was helpful. A bit of a revelation. Okay, one last thing before we go is if I hit the stripy lines here, okay, brings up this. This is kind of like your universal finder. Allows you to create new documents, work on recent documents. This changes, you can add favorites to it, but you can close it down as well. So if you click on this instead of file, okay, file gives you more this document settings. If you go to this, it gives you more kind of Canva settings back to this home kind of document, but kind of takes up a chunk of space. You can close it down as well. There you go. That is it. I will see you in the next video.